Can you believe that our favorite Emily Edits palette is back out on the market? It's at Target. I promise you, I think when it sort of disappeared for a while, I was really concerned because, listen, I loved that palette, and here's how much I loved it. I loved it to the point that I gave it to everyone I knew. If someone complimented me on my makeup, I gave them an Emily Edits palette. I gave it to the girls in my family. I gave it to girlfriends. I love the Emily Edits palette that much. So recently, in one of Emily Noel's videos, she showed the palette again and let us know that it was being sold at Target. And let me tell you, I made a beeline to Target. My Target only had one. I bought the last one, and there it is. And let me just tell you really quick why I love this palette so much. I'm going to try to cover up the mirror, but it virtually has everything in it that I need to do the color on my face. And all of the colors are interchangeable. So, you know, you have your, and I love the names that Emily gave them. I'm going to read upside down: Kindness, which is more like a powder, but I use it, as you'll see, under my eyebrows. It has 9 smaller colors that can be used as eyeshadows. They can be used as liners. You can wet them with a small liner brush. A couple here you could use as bronzer or blush. It does have its own bronzer, it has its own blush, and it has its own highlighter. So it virtually has everything, including a good mirror, that I need when I travel. And that's why I love this so much, is because under normal times, we travel quite a bit, and it was so easy for me to grab this palette and go and not have to worry, because I could make everything in this palette work for me either daytime or nighttime. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the look that you see right now. I use a few extra products that I'm not going to spend any time talking about, because this video is about the Emily Edits the Need. So I'm going to just show you what I'm using, and then I will list everything below. And almost every single product that I have used on this look today is from the drugstore. So let me show you what we've got, either the drugstore or Ulta. I started off with a foundation that I'm sure most of you are very, very familiar with by now. I don't think I've actually talked about it in a video, but it's quickly become one of my favorite foundations. It's the new CoverGirl Outlast Extreme Wear 3-in-1 foundation, 24-hour, full coverage, SPF of 18, and there it is. And my color is 845 warm beige. I have been getting sun. It's getting hot here in Florida, so I had to darken my color just a little bit. I love this foundation, but I'm going to tell you something. I think personally that there are some wonderful drugstore foundations out there right now. I mean, if you think you can't find a drugstore foundation that you like, I'm not real sure that you're really looking. There's some good ones. After my foundation, I do my eyebrows. I sort of have a little process for the way I do my face, but I'm using the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil. Has a spoolie on one end, more of a chunky lead than the little fine pencil that we're seeing so much of these days. This is my very favorite eyebrow pencil of all time. So my eyebrows, I do my eyebrows. And then next I'm going to do my eyes. And I always start by tight lining my upper lid. And today I'm using the Laura Geller Kajol Longwear Eyeliner in dark brown coal. And that's what it looks like. Again, all of this will be listed below. Now we're going to the Emily Edits The Needs. Now she had two palettes. One was the Wants, and it was a large palette that had about a zillion eyeshadows in it. And that's called the Wants. This one is called the Needs. Let me just show you what I'm starting off with. Like I told you before, I use these interchangeably, and so I wanted to get some lightness under my brow and just a little base over my eyelid. So I used the color that Emily calls Kindness right here. Then I went down to the eyeshadows, and I started off, I thought I would use this one called Hope, and I changed my mind at the last minute and used the purple for Passion. And these colors to me are very pigmented, and I always want to make sure and tap off my brush. Barely dip it into the color and tap it off so that I can put a light wash on and then build on top of it. And just blend it out with the Kindness to make sure and this is just for me, I just don't want a line that you can see with the colors. I want them blended together. So that's what I really strive for. So I've used the Kindness under my brow and over most of my lid. And then I used the Passion and put that over my mobile lid on the bottom. And then I blended it really well. And again, I did add layers to this to get it to the intensity that I wanted. The next thing I did is I went back to my Laura Geller pencil and I lined just barely on the top of my eyelashes. Did not do a wing, just a small line on the top of my lashes. Now the next thing I used was the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. Whoops. And that's that. I'm using the color called Light Sand. Light Sand. And I put it just under my eyes with my big flat brush the same brush that I used for my foundation. And I love applying liquid foundations with my flat top brush. I'm not a sponge girl at all, never have been. I've tried them, just don't like them. They work great for you, but not for me. The next thing I wanted to do is get some color on my cheeks. Went first to the Courage, right here, Courage. Don't you just love these names? And again, just a tiny little bit on my big fluffy brush. And I sort of did my neck because, again, remember, I've got a lot of sun already. Under my neck, under my chin, to do a few shadows here or to take rid of some of this double chin. Try not to leave a line. And then I did my temples and just a little on my face to even out the color. And then from there, I went to Joy, right there. The actual blush. And when I tell you, I tapped my brush into that barely, and then I wiped it off just a little bit and did it just a tiny little bit on my cheeks. So I used the Courage for the bronzer and the Joy for the blush. And I almost used this Honesty for my blush, but I decided to do this instead. I applied my eyeliner. Mascara, I'm using the L'Oreal Voluminous. I have been using this mascara on and off pretty much my entire adult life. So we're getting pretty close now to being finished, and actually we are finished with the palette. Down to our lips, and on my lips today, I'm wearing the CoverGirl 24-hour, I think it's the 24-hour. It's the one I've been wearing forever, but I've changed my color. This is 585, and that's what it looks like. And I'm really liking this color. Put on a very, very light coat of it. I mainly get the shape of my lips because those of you who have been around know that this lip, this side of my face, my lip, is really starting to turn under much more than this side. So I need to sort of build that line up a little bit more on this side. Once it's completely dry, and usually I go on and I do my hair, maybe I get dressed or whatever, but I'm starting to feel my lips a little bit dry, and that reminds me to put on the balm that comes with the color. You get these together if you've never bought this before, and it's a balm that really works with this to keep it on your lips for 24 hours. I will tell you, I rarely have to reuse this during the day. I just think my lips just don't feel dry after that. And then the last thing I do is I spray my face, and I've been using the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. And it's wonderful because it just gives you the coolest sensation. Again, this little Emily Edit the Needs palette, I believe right now is only at Target. And as I said, there was only one at my Target. I did go online to see if Target had it online, and they did. So I will put that link below. Hopefully you'll be able to get one, especially if you're like me and you used to use it, you loved it as much as I did, but all of a sudden it wasn't available. I'm going to go ahead and buy a few more of these up like I did before, so that, number one, I can have a backup for me, and number two, so that I can give them out. They're so inexpensive that I can afford to give these as just little girlfriend gifts for no reason at all, other than, hey, here's something to make your day. Let me give you something that will make your day. I think Emily Noel hit this out of the ballpark when she came up with the idea for this palette, and when she chose the colors and she chose the names of the colors. Just hit it out of the ballpark. I keep thinking she's going to have a new palette come out. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Emily, if you see this, I'd love to see another new palette from you, and I guarantee you there's a lot of other people who would too. And I want to thank all of you for being there for me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up. Know that I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. I really do. And know that I love you. And I'll see you soon. Don't forget to go out and be kind. We're getting out more. We're masking up. We're venturing out. So what an opportunity to just find more people that we can be kind to. Be kind. Bye-bye.